And I guarantee that would be number one. But he was great to work with. A lovely, genuine man, very compassionate, thought about other people. I always thought Paul should have been an icon, really. If things had been different, I don't know. But he was a lovely, genuine person, a Geordie, and, I don't know. I think he'd done brilliant for British football, English football. Even after his injury, he went to Scotland and Player of the Year, and he done well. But
actually, at the time when he was there, I was living in Scotland, and my family, because it's divided up there, very much by religion, right? Well, my wife and her family are all from the Rangers side of things, and most of my friends are actually from the Celtic side of things. And so for me, it's kind of we don't actually really ever get what that's like up there. It's such a different world, but the Rangers fans absolutely idolized him. And even to the point where when he scored that goal in Euro 96, even the Rangers fans were saying, "Did you see that goal? It was absolutely amazing. It was fantastic." And they couldn't help but praise him, even though he'd scored against Scotland.
What a brilliant goal that was. And that epitomised a player getting back after a horrific injury and scoring a goal like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was, he is an iconic player, but he scored some iconic goals as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love watching him play. I love watching him play. And to get him back playing is something that I will always be proud of.
Yeah.
Really proud of. Really proud of.
But another thing to thank you for.
Well, no, I'm not blowing the trumpet, but I just felt that it's something that I achieved in my life. When the odds were stacked against us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which they were. No one thought he was going to play again.
No, not at that time.
Especially after the second one, when he fractured his kneecap. I thought that was it. Even Lazio, but between us, we because he was dedicated, I was dedicated. I went in early in the morning. I was up at 7 or 6 in the morning. I worked on him for a couple of hours before anyone else come in. No one ever seen that. No one sees that. And Spurs now, I don't think Spurs really understood actually how much work actually went in to get him fit and get him back playing at international level. Yeah.
Yeah, that is sad because there comes a point where you kind of think, well, they should notice these things.
Yeah, they should do. Looking back, it's only years later where you look back and you think they opened the new ground. How many people were invited? All the ex-players and that. Did an invitation pop through my letterbox? No. And that makes you sad. It don't make you angry. It just makes you sad that do they realise just how much you actually put into
and that shows, doesn't it, that as a club, people just look at, I guess, the visible face, what they consider the visible face of the club, the players are that's the only people that people remember. So, as you say, there's so much that goes into making sure that those players are, can achieve the status and the stature that they do. And there should be recognition for other people that are, associated or involved and basically in the background ensuring that the wheels turn smoothly.
That's why it's important, Steve, to get this book out there for people to read and realise that there's more to, you talk about the mental side for players. You've got to think about the mental side of everyone, the medical staff, what you actually go through, because make no mistake, if he hadn't got fit, my reputation would have been in tatters.
Yeah.
However hard I'd worked, but if he hadn't played, you know, it was in tatters. So, you know, so
where can people get hold of this book, John? If they're looking to purchase this book, do you know where they can get hold of it at all?
Well, it's on that. It's definitely on Amazon. It's on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's the Limping Physio, and I believe the bookshops have got it as well. So it's out the 20th of September.
You can pre-order it now, I believe, can't you?
You can pre-order it, yeah. I think I hope people enjoy it anyway.
Yeah.
A portion of any profits will go to charity anyway.
Good stuff.
So it's, I think if people, whoever buys it, won't be disappointed, because you can pick it up, you can put it down, you can read it, and I think you could pick it up again next year and read it again, and you'll still enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's one of them. I think it's one of them sort of books. I read it. I read it over the last couple of days, and even I found it interesting, and I wrote it. So, you know, it's a different kind of book. It's not only a football book. It's a life book. It's a book about life. And,
that sounds superb.
You know, life and good. Yeah, that is brilliant.
So John, obviously, I mean, you've spoken about how how situations and stuff have changed. Do you think that you would want to be in the current environment for working as a physio? And I refer you mentioned Mourinho earlier, so I'll just refer you back to Mourinho, that incident that he had with Farah Ruiz, I think it is, where he wanted her going on or not going on in such a hurry because it was should we call it a technical injury? A tactical injury. Where the player was down specifically, to waste a bit of time or whatever, and she's gone running on. Could you work in that environment, do you think, these days?
No, Steve, I couldn't. Look, tactical injuries, making a player stay down is completely wrong, because what would happen if, say, you had a serious head injury and someone stopped breathing, and you'd mess the referee around, he's not going to want you to go on, is he? So vital seconds could be lost. I would always tell my players off if they went down and they weren't injured. I think it's completely wrong. I don't think I would survive in modern day football. I don't think I would be fit enough. I don't think anyone would take a chance on me. I don't really feel that I would want to be part of modern day football, what I've seen. Give me a couple of weeks working at a football club and see how I feel just working as a physio and being able to get home for a day. But when I was working, it was 24/7. So if you got Sunday afternoon off, you were lucky. You wasn't expected to get time off. So I'd love to see how that feels, having a bit of time and no pressure but no, to be honest, answering your question, I wouldn't. No, I had a great time. I loved my time. I was very fortunate that a young Luton manager gave me a chance, and I was able to carry on at Tottenham with Terry Venables' wisdom in allowing me to carry on. And also it gave me a chance to prove that I was capable of working at a high level, even with a disability. And I think that's important for people to look at, that, you've got disabilities. You only got to look at the Paralympics. Them magnificent athletes and what they're achieving was something tremendous. I was just absolutely in awe of them. And swimmers were swimming with one leg and one arm, and
no arms, swimming with no arms, and absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely, Yeah.
I went to the Paralympics in 2012, and it was amazing. And ever since then, I've been really, and I've been transfixed, and I follow it as much as possible. And as you say about representation, and we spoke about you spoke about the racism and not not tolerating that and everything, but everything is about representation, isn't it? So if you can see it, you can be it. So having black players meant that young black players would want to be there, having black managers, everything, and so having someone with a disability in that position, in that role, should be a role model for other people to look up to and say, do you know what, if there's someone out there that can do it, then there's nothing that should stop me aspiring to want to achieve that as well.
That's why I was saying about doing the England. But I'd done it once, then I think I would have reached the pinnacle of what I could have achieved.
Yeah.
That would have been it, I think.
Yeah, and going back to what you were saying there, Steve, some of those, I've met Danny Crates before, who's a sprinter, and what an inspirational figure he is.
Yeah,
he speaks. He does a lot of public speaking as well now, and goes around a lot of schools actually, and speaking to the children there, and on kind of trying to make the most out of your life. So they've not only overcome that with in terms to be a top athlete, but also now go around and spread that word of how you can be the best person you can be as well.
Yeah, I think a few of them do that, don't they? Alistair Heselton, who was on the para football team in 2012, he does a lot of that. I know he I think he's fairly local. I think he was in Northamptonshire or somewhere. But I know he used to come into Bedfordshire quite a lot and go to sixth form colleges and stuff and talk to students there. And I think he's got his own sort of institution or whatever you'd call it, where to promote this. So representation, I think, is massively important. And Channel 4, I think Channel 4 have been fantastic for this, because now people's awareness is a lot greater than it ever was, and people are not seeing these athletes as having a disability, but they're seeing them as being athletes and in their own right and achieving great things in their own right. And that's how it should be. You should be looking at people and seeing them as they are, rather than seeing a disability, I think, in the first case. So I think it's fantastic thing. So John, one last plug for your book. It's John Sheridan, The Limping Physio, is that right?
Yeah. Picture publishing.
Yeah. And I just actually before we finish on that, I know your it's subtitled A Life in Football, and when I was looking up some stuff today, and I noticed that Terry Venables had a book out, and his book was called Terry Venables, A Life in Football. And I just noticed the similarity in there. But anyway, so John Sheridan, The Limping Physio, A Life in Football, it's out with Pitch Publishing, is it you say? Available on Amazon to pre-order now, and I think in all good bookshops as well. So I think I've seen it in on Waterstones online as well. So it's out there. I think people should make sure that they get hold of it. I will be pre-ordering it to have a listen.
John, just wanted to say, firstly, thank you for the engaging chat, and also thank you for what you've done for our club.
Thank you. That's lovely of you. Yes, that's really nice of you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. I think that's a perfect note to end the podcast. So we've been the Varside Spurs Pubcast. Thank you and good night.
Thanks very much.